Hello, everybody. Um, we are again meeting with Sabahattin Cakiral on Užiateka Facebook channel. And we are very happy to meet you and to talk today about the very specific topic where we're touching each of us, which is called networking. And before it, I would like to talk a little bit why we are here. It is the 7-week of Sonic Academy challenge, which is related with communication, voice opening, with creation, and the networking is very related and important part of communication. And we are very happy that this 7-week it's showing for us the great results. The people who are on this channel of this challenge, they are really improving. But as we want to spread those video diaries, what was the part of this challenge, the last part is to think how we can spread it to other people. What things we need to have in mind that it won't just stay with us, but it would touch you. And the same with Sabi, we thought it can be interested for anybody of you. Let's talk today a little bit how we communicate better, why networking is important, and how it can change our communication, our routine, our events, what's happening in the life. Maybe we can create many different situations, new situations for ourselves if we are including this tool of networking. So I'm happy to present, as I said, Sabahattin Cakiral, the voice actor and the teacher, the project manager, producer, and I can speak about many things what he is doing, but he's the great man who would like to share with you about the networking, about this topic, and to give the advices, to share his experience. And please, if you are following us, write the comments, write the questions. We would like to talk also, not just between us, but to communicate with you, to create this network. So, Sabi, it's time for you.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Thank you very much that you take the time to attend to this event at this time. It is amazing to see that we had like 7 weeks. This is the 7th week, and we were very consistent. And every week we had one topic, one interesting topic. And the interesting thing is these topics are interrelated, connected, networked to each other. So it is like an onion shells, like you have the onion, you have the core, and then there is the next layer, the next layer, the next layer, and everything is related to each other, and every layer covers the layer which is lying underneath. So I think when we talk about networking, we shouldn't narrow down our view on this topic, but really try to develop a more wider view on this topic. So, but first of all, let me really thank the Užiateka team, especially Katrina, who has really planned these things and orchestrating us and the topics in a very, very nice manner. And she's now petting her cat. Yeah. Thank you very much, Katrina. Really, I'm so happy to be part of that project. And as
Thank you too.
it's amazing. It's an honor, and I can really say all the people are talking about Corona and being limited and the bad guys and so on. And now they are talking about Bitcoin. You should, by the way, be very careful with these things, with Bitcoin and these kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's talking about these things, and we are talking about the interesting topics. Therefore, Užiateka is very positive and very different. And we would be very happy if you would spread it around in your network if you like it, and also contribute to our projects here at Užiateka.life. It's very, very multilingual, multicultural, interdisciplinary, and we have really extremely nice and interesting talents. Having said that, this is the 7th week, and in my series, in my 7 topic series, this is the last segment, but our live sessions, our weekly live sessions will not end here. We have some more interesting content prepared with Katrina. We already planned these kind of nice content for you. And it will be even more interactive. So you will not have that Turkish guy who is living in Germany in front of you, who is talking and talking, but we will have more an interactive way. And I like this kind of formats even better, much better. So we started with the first and very core topic, the voice acting business. And then we continued. We talked about imagination, improvisation, script writing. We talked about public speaking. We talked about storytelling. So these were the first 6 topics, which were extremely interconnected to each other. And now we have actually the outer shell, like if we have the voice acting in the middle of that onion, we have the networking in the outside, which covers everything. So we said that in the voice acting business, you are using your voice, you're characterizing things, you are behind a microphone, but not necessarily. Maybe you talk to people, you present something. But in order to be able to present those things, you need to be a good storyteller. And in order to be able to tell interesting and nice stories, you should have a kind of lively imagination and imagination powers in you. You should really imagine things, and in your imagination, you should let the figures and the characters play around. And of course, while doing that imagination in your inside, you should be very, very creative, and you should be able to improvise. You should be able to jump from topic to topic and connect topic to topic. And in order to be able to do these kind of things, you should also be able to write scripts if you are a presenter, or if you prepare something for the TV or for the internet. So the script is more or less the DNA of the things which you are going to tell later. And the last thing is the networking part. So you have prepared many things, you have your story, you have everything, you know so many things, you can imagine, you are a good improviser. But if there is no one, if you are only the only person in the room and alone, then this doesn't make sense so much. So you need to have a kind of network in order to be able to express yourself. And when we say networking, by the way, the roof for networking is communication. Yeah. And and in the communication, basically you have sender or senders, or and a receiver or receivers. Basically you have communication peers or pairs or couples, and basically information is getting exchanged all the time. And all the internet is based on that, all the TV is based on that, that what we are doing here right now is based on that. So everything has something to do with the communication. Even when you call your cat or your dog, you set up a certain kind of communication. You want to transmit a certain idea, as maybe it's an maybe you want to tell something to someone, or to your cat, or to your dog. Maybe you want to warn someone, etc., etc. So this is the roof, communication. And when we say networking, and it consists of two words, net and working, I believe that these two words were selected in a very, very right way, net and working. Uh, and if you think about a net has certain points. Yeah, a net, it consists of more than two nodes, 2 points. Basically, you need actually at least 3 points, and you can have, of course, 10,000 people, 500 people, 50 people, but basically you have more than uh, two two people in the network. And what you do is basically, in this network, you basically set the strategy, how you perceive your network, how you understand your network, and how you interact with your network, and how you set up the processes in your network. If you are, for example, an artist, a musician, for example, you can sing perfectly, and you have the best emotions. You can express the best emotions. Everybody, loves to listen to you. But if you don't have an audience, if you don't have a network which really wants to receive those nice sounds coming out of your mouth, then basically you don't have any any connection with anyone. So of course you can sing for yourself, but then we are not talking about networking, but we are talking about self entertainment. Yeah, this is also okay, but we want to be able to um, to set up our network and interact with that network. So, what is a good network? Is it, do we need to have all of us, Katrina, you and everyone at Užiateka, and all the listeners and myself, do we need to have all millions of contacts, millions of fans, millions of followers? I don't think that the answer is yes here. So you can have like only 10 people in your network, and you can be the happiest person in the world. So, in fact, most of the strong organizations, they have a core team, maybe one or three or two people in the center, and then you have maybe 5 or 10 people around, or maybe 20 people. But then they focus on that network. At this point, I really would love to make a kind of experiment. Um, I do this experiment every year, at least 2 times, since many, many years. I say, by the way, I'm a person who is really communicative, open, international. I work with customers from right now more than 70 countries. I work in many different projects, and therefore I have collected really many, many friendships, many, many contacts. But I think, I say to myself, Sabi, imagine that you are sitting in the city center, and you have your cell phone in your hand, and you have like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 contacts in your on your cell phone. And now you just write, hello, please come immediately to the city center, for example, in Darmstadt, where I live, or in Vilnius. And then I send the message, or we send the message. And, after that, we close our phone. And then we begin to wait 10 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour. How many people and which people will come following our call to come to the city center?
Mm.
And, there were years, really, I was shocked. I was really shocked in a negative manner. Maybe nobody. Yeah, maybe one person. Maybe that one person will say, yeah, I saw your message 2 hours later or 5 hours later. But the thing is, this experiment shows us you can have a network, but how active, how alive is your network? How active and how reactive is your network? I'm in many WhatsApp groups. I built many WhatsApp groups, and there are right now thousands of people. And when I write something to my friends, then they react very fast. But there are some groups, they don't react even for hours or even for days, or they don't react at all. So what is the reason for all these things? And then sometimes I post something, or someone in the group posts something, and then immediately 50 or 100 messages are following one after the other. What is the reason for that? So, and the question comes actually to the direction, first of all, how do we set up our network? How do we select the contacts? How do we basically communicate with each of these contacts? What do we offer them? How do we respond to them, etc., etc.? And the sum of all these operations basically shows how powerful your network is, or how weak your network is. I've heard so many people saying, always I'm calling them, always I'm helping them, always I'm giving, but I never receive anything back, or I receive so much back. And I've heard that sentence so many times. I'm really fed up in that. Um, and then when somebody says to me something like this, so I'm helping the other people, I'm supporting the other people, I'm giving them, but I never receive. I sit down with that person, and then I begin to analyze. I say, okay, give me an example. When did you do something for the others? Yeah. And then he says, okay, one time I wanted to help that group, and then I offered this, and then helped them, etc., etc. And then we analyze that action, and then I prove him or her that basically even that action, which was intended to be for them, was at the end planned to be something on a midterm or long term, something to be for something for me. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and this was, when I analyze this and show them, look, you are in the core of that operation, not the others. So then they are really surprised, and some of them really they get shocked. I checked myself in all the years, like 25 or more years, where I really was thinking about that. I tried to count everything which I was doing for the others, and which in return I was receiving directly or indirectly from the others. Some of you may say it comes from the universe, some of you may say it comes from God, but I counted, and I came to a number. If I have given only one, really given only one, then I receive 10 times more, 100 times more, or even 1,000 times more. So basically, if you want to have a network which is really working, then you should forget about yourself for a moment when you declare something a help for someone else. If you if the purpose, if the intention was actually to help someone, but actually to do it as a kind of investment for the future, then the people are not dumb. They understand it. They feel it. Their soul feel it, and it's not honest. So basically, what we can say here is, if you begin to set up your network, you should be really honest. Of course, you should be open. Yeah, that's one major element. You have to contact or communicate with someone or with a group, of course. But the second thing, and the most important thing, is to be honest. Yeah. So how, with which intention with what kind of intentions you are going and approaching those people and offering them or help them. Yeah, that is, I think, the most important part in this. Of course, we can say, I want to set up a business network. So the intention, the purpose is really to set up a network where you define the intention, and everyone in this network defines the intention to be the business exchange. I give you, you give me. In that case, the correct selection of the people and the correct combination of the contacts is very important. For example, I was doing business network events in Switzerland um, with a partner, and we had very, very interesting and also powerful people. They were coming like every month. We were doing this once, and we had always a full house. Yeah. And the thing is, why they were coming, because they had something to get. Yeah. We had people from the financial world, we had models, we had filmmakers and all kinds of this kind of things. And we were matching them, and therefore they were coming, and they were also paying for these network events. For example, one time I sat down, I always was analyzing our guests and then matching them. For example, I matched a guy who is an investor for old time rallies. And there was a lady who was giving out a magazine for women drivers. And there was another person, a lady, who was organizing old timer rallies. Yeah. So, and when I brought them together on that evening, they were so surprised, all living in Switzerland. And this Turkish guy from Germany comes and connects them, combines them. And then they were so happy that they found each other. So basically, this example which I have given to you, I connected 3 people in my network. Let's say I have like 40,000 people in my network, 40,000 contacts. They never ever would find each other. But because I was thinking about them, and here our imagination, our improvisation, and also then our storytelling is very important. We have to use this, and also our voice, we have to use that to connect these people and make something different out of that, out of those single contacts. So we have to be a very good matchmaker. And in order to be able to do that, we really have to, this is especially important also for the imagination, for the improvisation, for all the level, all the steps, all the levels which we were talking about. So our memory, we should really strengthen our memory. And I think one of the most important things to strengthen your memory is that you try to eliminate your stress factors, your fear factors, your sadness factors, and that you really, really get enough sleep. I think this is definitely one of the most important things. And also, you have to take care of those things which you eat. For example, if you eat everyday fast food, I think that would have a negative effect. And if you eat natural biological products, then this also has an effect on your memory power. And the thing is, if you are set up with all these all the infrastructure we were talking about, and if you begin to really think about your contacts, about their properties, about their ideas, about the things which you were talking with them, and then you begin to match them. Please, not for yourself. Don't match them for a moment, not for yourself. Don't ask yourself always, yeah, but where am I in that connection? Yeah. Please forget for yourself for a moment and connect these 2 people. He fits to him or to her. So, and bring them together. And don't be sad if nothing comes out for you in that moment. Yeah. And also don't say yourself all the time, but one day I will receive something back, but one day I'll receive something back. Yeah. Just connect your people in your network. It's good to connect people. And don't be one of those people who says, yeah, for the last 20 years I always connected people, and they benefited so much, but I never benefited on anything. And they are so greedy, they never offered me anything. If you follow all the process, if you do it right, if you do it in a correct way, if you really, in the first step, if you forget yourself and if you connect these people, of course, you shouldn't connect anyone with anyone. For example, you know that this guy is a criminal and this guy is another criminal. And if you connect them, you say, I forget myself and I connect two criminals. Of course, that's not the right thing. So it must make a sense, yeah, when you connect two people. It should be something sustainable. If you connect two people, you should think that if these two people connect, something in that context will be optimized, and they will do maybe a project or two or three, and then it will be good for the people who are in this network, in my network. And then basically, if you do it over and over and again, and if you are a kind of information carousel, so you are a carousel, um, like you are taking informations, you are processing them, you are distributing them, you are matching people, and you are distributing information, you are spreading information. Then after a time, by the way, a parenthesis, you can be you can do actually, there are two ways to be irreplaceable. One is if you really hide information, you collect information and you hide it inside. And another method is you are collecting the information and you are spreading the information. In both cases, you will be irreplaceable. And there are so many nice examples in the history and also now in living people. There are people, for example, in Hollywood, they know everyone, they connect everyone, and they are then, after a time, irreplaceable. So you should be such a networker who really collects information and distributes information. And through this, basically, your network will be very much alive. If you say, no, no, I want to hide information and I want to decide whom to give which information, if you do it this way, um, if you are, if you basically stock informations in you, then you block the flow of the information in your network, and basically you are harming yourself. Yeah, you are harming yourself at the end. But if you distribute, then, and there is a mathematical formula. I was explaining it like this. For example, I have a certain idea, yeah, a certain idea, and I distribute this idea to 10 people. I take the time, and I distribute it to 10 different people. Basically, my idea will be heard by these 10 people, and each time I present this idea to those guys, then I will be getting better and better, because I'm telling the same story again and again. And sometimes, while I'm telling this story, my counterpart will add something on top of it, and then it will be enriched, and basically my idea will grow and grow and grow. um, and even after these 10 times telling the same story, my idea can be enriched, and maybe it can be made more powerful. But what also can happen is, if you tell your idea to those people, to your friends, to the contacts in your network, then it is possible that out of the 10, after a certain time, 3 totally new, different ideas come back to you. They come and tell you another interesting idea. Yeah, so you have given then one kind of an idea to 10 people, but you receive maybe from 3 or more people different kinds of ideas. And that's actually one of the best investments you can do, because you invested only once, but you received maybe 3 or 4 times different ideas, and that's very intelligent and very good. But what happened to the people on this planet. Um, Basically, everybody wants to see the results immediately. I want to invest something now, and I want to get something back immediately after that. I want to give money. I want to take, so give and get and give and get. And, this is uh, actually a very primitive way of thinking and a very primitive way of moving. And that's the reason why platforms like Instagram, Facebook, um, LinkedIn, or Xing, that's the reason why everything is narrowed so much down. You see fantastic pictures, profile pictures, smiling pictures, hairs like this, smiles, very intelligent looks, um, business kind of looks, artist type of looks, but check it, no communication, no networking, but a perfect profile. And that's not good. I think profiles should live. The network should be activated by giving. Yeah. If everybody is giving, then of course everybody will receive as well. So, and I think in any case, the giver is the better one. The giver will, at the end, the minimum what you have by giving, of course, you invest some time, and it's also a kind of stress. But the minimum what you do is you verify your ideas. For example, there was a guy in my network that was very strange. I have to be very careful when I tell this story. Um, I was always telling about my ideas. I have also I applied for patents, and I developed more than 250 ideas till now, all innovative ideas. And I was always telling about my ideas to my friends, to my network. You can ask them, they will tell you, yes, Sabi is always telling about his ideas, and he never fears. There are also some friends, they say, Sabi, why do you tell your story? Everyone, they can steal it. And I say, no, I am always telling a certain aspect of my idea. I don't tell the whole idea. So, um, and there was a guy in my network, and he was always listening when I was telling my stories. And then one day, I mean, one day he took his pen and he took a paper and he made one scratch on the paper, and he wanted to tell about his story, and then he has thrown his pen on the table and he said, no, maybe I'm gonna implement this later, so I shouldn't tell about it. And the same guy, after many years, after he has seen that he never will be able to implement that, he never will be able to realize that idea, he saw that I'm still explaining all about my ideas, but now he came and he said, I want to tell you about my idea. And he took again the pen and the paper, and then he began to tell me about his idea. And then I told him that this idea was already invented in the years 18th century. And he became red and his ears fallen down. So he was carrying around an idea for 15 years, or maybe 10 years or 15 years, I don't know. He was, hugging his idea, which was actually not his idea. He was thinking that he invented something, and he was grabbing his idea like this. And he didn't tell me that idea years ago, but when he told me about this, I said that, this idea already was invented in the 18th century, and he was broken down by that. So you see that having a network, sharing things, thinking about the people and their needs, helping others without, thinking about yourself in the first instance, can save 10 or 15 years of wrong steps. Because had he told me about that idea years ago, he would have saved at least 6 years. So because 6 years before I also would have said to him that this is already invented in the 18th century. But no, he didn't tell about his idea. So it has so many benefits to set up a nice network, no matter if it's a social network or if it's a business network, and to activate that network by simply saying, hi, how are you? You know, um, some people just connect and contact and add people and follow people, but there is no life. I mean, basically, some people carrying only, what do you call it? Um, like zombies with in this channel, they in their channel, in their profile, they just collect zombies, and this is not good. We shouldn't um, take zombies with us, but we should really have a network which is alive, a communication which is alive. And for this, of course, we have to invest some time, and we have to really be interested into people, and we have to really be able to share some things, collect some things, combine some things, and give away. That's basically that what I would say about a good working networking. And with
So,
this, I give back
Sabin,
to Katrina.
yeah, I would like to ask about the last what you said about the time and about the people, about the fears. But I think so we are feeling, some of us, or maybe all of us, usually before starting to creating or in beginning of creating network, we are facing uh, first question would be about the timing, because when we want to create some business, or doesn't matter the performance, let's say I want to create performance and I need actors and so on, but I have to start it, but I do not have that. I need, for example, exactly. So how we can slow down the mind, or if it's necessary to do that, like we would start to see that the networking is a very long process. It is just, if the contact is what I feel, if contact is coming quickly, it can be super nice, spontaneous. But if I'm trying to push, then later on he will move quickly. As the more better connection we have, the
Yeah,
more stronger it becomes. And
absolutely.
another question would be about how we can uh, not fear to communicate, because maybe some people, they seem like zombies, or they are just concentrating on their profile, not because they are interesting so much, but maybe they are not trusting that how they can approach others, that they will be interested to others. And the fear factor can play the game of for some people it's easy to say hi, how are you, but how we can encourage them that it's possible to do for everybody, just to remember some things, how to do it. Is the human it has the is really developed from the animals. Yes, we have that developed voice apparatus. Actually was yesterday in the medicine class. Now we study a little bit how the human develop, and I was so stunned by the factor that yes, the voice apparatus and the diaphragm, any things, we are have that habit of talking and communication, but it's not still easy for everybody, for us. So what to do
Absolutely.
in this case?
I mean, very nice questions. Thank you very much for that. Um, the first question is basically, for example, when I say I will knock on 100 doors, I want something specific. I have a certain expectation, or I have a certain need. Um, and I start to knock on the doors, door one, door two, door three, and maybe the 99th door even doesn't give me that what I'm searching for, but the 100th door, the door number 100, is maybe the door which opens, and then all these 99 knock knocks on the doors will be basically forgotten. Yeah. So then you will be happy with the hundredth of the door. By the way, this is a formula which I'm using for many things. Yeah. For example, you have to really, some people say, I tried everything, but I can't find. I say, let's sit down and we take now paper and pen. What did you check? First, this one, second, this one. Sometimes we don't go over five contacts. And then he's surprised. He was thinking in his head that he tried everything. In fact, he didn't try everything. He only tried 5 times, and because it's an emotionally very difficult step to go and ask for something, therefore they don't like these cold the salespeople. They don't like these cold contacts, yeah, because you want to sell to somebody something, and then it's a very emotionally difficult process. So basically, when we set up our network, you can't say, now I'll click on the button and then I'll have an international network. That doesn't work. So a network is something which is growing. Yeah. For example, what I really, where I'm really very much focused is, people always try to find the right contact somewhere else, far away. Yeah. For example, you have a nice close, like the people who are close to you from the distance, or from the relations. You have people very close to you, but you say, I can't use his expertise, or he's not useful, he's not useful, she's not useful. And then you eliminate everything which is around you, and then you begin to search somewhere else, and then you are surprised that somewhere else, making contacts is much more difficult. Yeah. So, and taking this idea, we can say we really should start from a point which is absolutely our domain. It can be, for example, the relatives domain, the friendships domain, it can be the neighborhood domain, it can be the expertise domain, etc., etc. So we have to take the closest path in order to be able to start. And then with this knocking on 100 doors principle is very important. And maybe one of these hundreds, maybe the fifth door will be opened, and even the 10th and the 20th. Sometimes you have luck, and then basically your network can be developing in a very extremely fast way. For example, some weeks ago, all of a sudden, I received via LinkedIn contact requests from like 70 or 80 Japanese voice actresses. So not voice actors, but Japanese voice actresses. And I had like 2 or 3 Japanese voice actors in there. I didn't expect that. Where do they come? How did that happen? I really didn't expect, but it happened. Why? Because I'm writing here and there, and I'm talking with this guy and this guy, and it has come into a certain network, and then it worked. So sometimes the growth in your network is not perceivable, or predictable. Yeah. You don't understand how it works. For example, Užiateka.life can be starting like this, very slow, but maybe there will be one certain guy or girl or lady who will listen to one of those sessions, and then he will say, yes, that's my place. And then he comes in, his networks comes in, and then all of a sudden Užiateka.life network grows and grows. So that's one thing. So the other thing is, we really have to be able to ask for help. For example, there are people, they have already these networks. So we should go and talk with these people and ask for help, whether they can open their network for us. The interesting thing is, in the brain, for example, you have like billions of cells, and they are connected with each other. And maybe there is a certain area, a lobe in your brain here, and there's another area here, and you need this connection, but the connection is not there. And maybe one cell is connected to the other, to the other, to the other, and then here a very slight electrical impulses happening all of a sudden where you don't expect it. And now this lobe is connected with this lobe, and all of a sudden you have 10,000s of ideas coming into your mind, yeah, out of nothing. So you know, the same is with the networks. Sometimes a person, and you know, this really happened to me in a project in Germany. There was a guy in our project. He was looking like a student, very shy. Nobody was taking attention to, paying attention to him. Nobody was talking to him. He was sitting in the corner and he was very shy like this. But I was always greeting him. I was eating with him. I was talking with him, and I was, you know, we were smiling and laughing. I was joking with him. What happened? The project came to an end, and many people were sent home. And one day we were talking, and he said in a, you know, in a very short sentence, he said that his brother, his elder brother, is in Switzerland, and they are searching for someone. So, and then I went to Switzerland, and I got a much bigger project, a very important project. With that mini impulse, I was able to have a fantastic job there. I worked then for a big bank as a chief technology officer, and in this project. And you see, I really respected that person, and I was exchanging with him ideas. I was joking. I was respecting him. And what happened? I benefited from that, but I was not expecting that it will come. And most of the things in my life are like this. So uh, basically, it may happen. And the second question with the shyness, or you know, to fear something, of course, if you know, we have a soul, we have a heart, we have a brain, and of course everybody is raised in a certain context. For example, if you raised in a very repressive um, or even brutal environment, then it will be more difficult for you. But the good thing is, these emotions can be formed after a time. Basically, you know, you have the strings in your hand, and we saw, you know, there is so much evidence that people can uh, take the chance and change themselves. Yeah, you can say, okay, I was a shy guy. And by the way, Katrina, I really tell you that I was a very, very shy guy when I was a kid. Yeah, I was not able to open my mouth. Now they are not able to shut my mouth. The thing is, you can change so many things. And I think the friendships which you make um, are very important in that. For example, if you walk around, if you have friendship with someone who is permanently fearing things, then maybe you can also begin to be like that. Or if you are surrounded by brave people, uh, then you can become a brave person. So I think the friends are very important. The people with whom you are, you know, eating, drinking, sitting, etc., etc. They are very crucial in that respect. And of course, the own fight with the ego, with the inside, and that you say, you know, I want to be in competition with myself. Like, this is me, this is also me, and I'm in competition with myself. Then that will lead at the end to a good result. Yeah. And you know, as you, Katrina, you know that I always start challenges, and you know, these challenges which I start, they are mostly they are existential. You know, I'm throwing myself into a well, yeah. So I'm throwing myself down, and I can really lose money, I can lose time, I can lose so many things. But you know, I'm doing it every year once, or sometimes even up to 3 times. And I think uh, the friends who are fearing so much, they should really take now the decision that they begin now or latest by tomorrow morning, and they throw themselves into risky situations, and you know, they open themselves By the way, we are now in the Corona times. I promise you, this is the best time to make connections. The people are available right now. You can call them, you can contact them, you can write them emails. This is the best time ever. You know, if the Corona is over, you will see that everybody will be somewhere else, and then you will. It will not be easy to contact and connect people.
Thank you, Sabi. And I would like to add about that shyness and the need to risk, to take that challenge. I think so, as you started about the interdisciplinary thing to talk. If we yesterday, even in the class, I was thinking when those interdisciplinary things will start to come to Lithuania in the studies, in the science, and so on. In 20 years before, even nothing. We used to really go to the specification to become very good specialists, to go to one side. And right now we are starting to face that interdisciplinarity. It is so important. Of course, we are trained our bodies, our skills to one or other thing, and there we are good, the masters. But I like it to start to think that if I risk, if I will join, let's say, art with medicine, I really don't know anything about the medicine. It's the authority for me. I feel like so silly in front of it. But it's also the love what comes between two parts.
Yes.
The medicine maybe don't know also anything or just something about my side.
You know,
And
Katrina, excuse me, 30 years ago, my father was still alive, and we were discussing in Turkey, in Istanbul, every day these kind of things. I was thinking and I was defending the position that I want to learn so many things, interdisciplinary in many areas. And my father was saying, no, you have to be focused and you have to be a specialist. So,
mhm.
and you know, many years we were fighting and fighting. And my father later saw that my idea or my way with the multilinguality, multiculturality, and interdisciplinarity works better, opens more areas, connects more people, even brings more income, etc. And you know, there were even teachers of me, they were defending that way of my father. And now the interesting thing is when I started to work like 20 years, 25 years ago as an organizations and communications architect, software developer, etc. When I started to work in that area, there were companies, personal management companies, like HR companies. They were asking me the question, Mr. Cakiral, why are you moving from software development to architecture and then project management and then again software development? Why are you changing always the position? Because they said 20 years ago they were saying all the people they have in their database, they follow a certain line. A software developer wants to stay a software developer. A manager wants to stay a manager, and they want to earn more money as time passes. Yeah. So why am I doing this? This jump around. But now today they are searching for exactly that hybrid form. They want now a software developer which can manage and a manager who can do software development. So now the time really began to change. And that's what you said, Katrina. In the past, maybe there was a guy or a lady, they were thinking, I will study something, then I will go and work in this area, and then I will retire, and then I will have a fantastic life's evening, and then I will die. That, believe me, especially I tell it to the Z generation Z, to the younger friends, to the younger viewers, believe me, that time is over. So we have to learn how to be extremely flexible and how to be able to transform ourselves. For example, you are a filmmaker. if you say, I don't want to learn editing, others should edit. No, that's a wrong idea. You should learn at least the basics of editing. Uh, I don't want to, know about using the microphone. Excuse me, I have to just. I'm sorry. Otherwise, I would we would lose the picture. So it is good to know about so many different areas, but of course you still can have a very hot sweet spot in that network. So you can be you can know about the biology, about the health issues, about the viruses, etc. You can know about everything, and you will have a sweet spot under all these things. And the good thing is, sometimes when you need to take an information from another discipline, you will go and you will be able to take that discipline, or at least you will be able to ask the right questions for that. Yeah, and that's basically the new age. And I think those people who really stuck into that old school, they will have severe pains. They will be not happy. They will be always angry about angry to other people. They will say, I don't understand the world, digitalization, computers, this and that, bitcoins. I don't understand bitcoins. The people will get crazy. And therefore, I tell, especially to the young people, please, please, please learn languages, learn other cultures, open yourself. Read books from different areas, not only Harry Potter, or, or not only one direction. Please open.
Yes, and the word plasticity and elasticity, what you said, actually the health means elasticity, how adaptable you are.
Absolutely.
So, and how our organisms can react to the different situation, and how big your immune system we have, and so on. So if we will start to see that in our social life, yes, in our networking, that okay, if I'm already doing my network between my friends, yes, or my family, so how many different situations, how my life will open if I will go to if I could contact something authorized organization in a foreign country. Maybe they really would like something I have to suggest for them, yes, and it is really the exchange. So
Absolutely. I mean, imagine that there was a guy like many, many thousand years ago. Uh, all the people are running after mammoths. They are hunting mammoths, or some people are collecting some flowers and eating and so on. But this guy says, I don't want to use any new tools. Don't want to come out of my cave. I don't want to learn something new. I mean, this guy will die there. So he will not be able to survive. Even if he doesn't go to hunt, his life will not be easy there. And therefore, I believe that we have the power. This brain is really a wonder, and our heart is really a wonder. And I believe our soul is a wonder. And with these three wonders, and with a lot of braveness, we really can change our life 180%. So today, maybe you are depressive and you are not so happy, and maybe you say, you tell yourself, yeah, what should I do, what shall I do, all the time. But then if you begin to use these things, um, basically maybe you will begin to see what's around you, and maybe you will begin to ask the right questions, maybe you will begin to read the right books, and then eventually, step by step, even within a short time, many things will begin to change. I know so many people also from Lithuania. I mean, I'm now since 2019 somehow in contact with Lithuania, and I met many people. I heard many people. Believe me, when we were talking before, they were so so closed, and they were like stuck in a certain idea. But then they hear something, they learn something, and all of a sudden uh, things begin to make sense in a different way. And then, their life, it is possible that their life begin to change. Yeah, that's everything is possible. And therefore I'm admiring Užiateka.life so much, because it was created in this difficult time, in the corona time. It was also an idea in the heads, especially in Katrina's head and heart, and then now it's reality. And imagine, maybe in this context, Užiateka, maybe something will happen, maybe something will be told, and somebody will listen to that, and then maybe his or her life will be changing, and then he will be happy. Yeah, and happiness is basically, Katrina, I defined happiness as being free of fears and sadness, because I believe these two emotions, of course, anger is also a very strong emotion, but I believe that fear and um, and sadness, these two are really blocking. They're paralyzing people. What am I doing? What will Corona will do with me? What if I don't find any job? What how can I pay my rent? Everybody asks these questions. For example, Alain Delon, this famous French actor, he had times where he had no money in the pocket. Yeah, for 2 years. For 2 years, he was walking around like a bum. Yeah, and so having no options, or no money, or no opportunities is not the problem. I think the real problem is not to begin to think and find out possible options, but because there are always some options. Believe me, um, and I can tell you 100 stories about that.
So, Sabi, let's agree that from the next week we are starting to create the network and to meet the people we don't know or maybe don't know many things about them. So let's encourage. Let's make that first step. Of course, maybe it's anybody is doing this, but as more we are resonating this energy to communicate, to meet each other and exchange, I think so the resonating is spreading and coming back to every of us.
I mean, you
So
basically said it. The next steps will be that we contact and communicate with interesting people, nice people, and we interview them together with Katrina. And the thing is, this method, interviewing people, asking people questions, this is so old. They were doing these kind of things 200 years ago, or even earlier. That's not the point. For example, we cannot say that yeah, the Chinese people 1,000 years ago cooked a meal, so we don't need to cook any meal anymore. We still need to cook today, so we still need to make interviews, ask people questions, nice people, interesting people who will tell us some stories about their lives, or interesting things. And we can through this maybe work against fear and sadness, and get some motivation, and grow our network in a very nice way. So therefore, at this point, I'm asking the Užiateka network and also my network, if you know someone very interesting where you say this guy or this girl must be interviewed, uh, please send us a message, send me a message, send Katrina a message, and then we will contact our friend, and then we will ask for an interview, and then we will make a live interview. And this should be hopefully every week, once a week. And if there is even more, we can maybe do it twice. Katrina is smiling, so and through this, our network can grow with new ideas, with new people, and with fresh, motivating things. Yes, Katrina.
Exactly. So even if each of you by yourself don't necessarily need to be a friend, but if you feel that you have things to share, well, let please us know. We are really willing to meet you and exciting to meet you, to go to those like in the dates, it's live date with the person. And actually it's the same with Sabi, with you. Even we are, talking on the topic, but I don't know so many things. And if it's live, so everybody is seeing how we're exchanging, and that makes kind of creates adrenaline and creative atmosphere. That's the beautiful thing. And I want to really to thank for you, Sabi, for your great discussion with me today about the networking. It was really interesting, and I hope that people can take advices or to think about at least about those things. And as we said, we are starting to build up the networking, and we encourage you to also to create. The spring time is really good for that. Everything becomes alive. So let's fresh it everything around.
And Katrina, soon we will come together. I will come to Lithuania, and then we may make our interviews even live together in nice places. And maybe we can even invite our guests to that place, and then we can, of course, after the corona, we can make it in one place, in one studio, maybe, and that would be, of course, something very, very interesting and special.
Yeah, sure. So, yes, Sabi, I'm saying bye for you and for those who followed, those who are going to watch later. And let's meet on Sunday and next week with the Sonic Academy Challenge, and also with those interview which Sabi just presented. Okay, have a nice evening, everybody. Have a nice evening, Sabi, too.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.